Decision Day is here. Right now, voters across Southern California are casting ballots in high-stake races that will shape issues like the economy, immigration, and crime. Who will advance in the race for governor? Who moves one step closer to becoming LA's next mayor? Plus, from the IE and Orange County to Long Beach and LA Metro, we are highlighting the key races and tax measures on the ballot. The votes, the races, the results that matter. This is the NBC4 News at 4. Decision 2026, a fight for California's future. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Carolyn Johnson. You've heard from the candidates, and now the choice is yours. We have a team of reporters spanning Southern California for you, tracking the final push for votes before the polls close tonight at 8. First up, the race for governor. The top two finishers will advance to the November runoff. Javier Becerra is leading in the polls. NBC4's Lolita Lopez is with his campaign.
Well, Carolyn and Colleen, check it out. The stage is all set up here for Javier Becerra. We are in downtown Los Angeles. They are getting ready to expecting some 700 supporters and folks that are coming here to be watching those results come in the evening. Part of the way they're going to watch it on this big screen right here. This is one of the ways that the results are going to be coming in and being broadcast to the crowd that is expected here tonight. You know, the former congressman and secretary of Health and Human Services under President Biden, as well as a former attorney general of the state of California. He says he is running on his 3 decades of experience, and that is part of his plan if elected, including with affordable housing.
Right now, there are nearly 40,000 affordable housing units sitting shovel ready to be built right now. They're just waiting for funding. My team will find every one of those projects, every one of those units, and we will find the money and we will move them.
Now, that was Becerra at his last big rally in Long Beach on Sunday that was full of supporters, including many from the labor movement. Of course, Becerra, the son of immigrants, his father, part of a labor movement for many times, a long time ago. All of those folks are expected to be here, many of those as part of the 700, again, RSVPs here tonight. Coming back here live, we want to show you that stage again, getting set for Becerra and his family who are already here in Los Angeles. Becerra, according to his campaign, voted yesterday in his hometown of Sacramento. He is here with his wife, his 3 daughters, and his son-in-law. Actually, they were here doing a little walkthrough within the last hour, kind of checking out the scene. They will be here to watch the results, and then they are expected to speak to all of the supporters later tonight. Of course, we'll be here with them throughout the entire evening. For now, we're live in downtown Los Angeles. Lolita Lopez, NBC4 News.
All right, Lolita, thank you. And one of the other top candidates in this race is Republican Steve Hilton. He is expected to watch the results roll in tonight in Huntington Beach. NBC4's Hetty Chang live at the Hilton watch party with more on what we can expect. Hetty?
Well, Colleen, Steve Hilton was in the room about 15-20 minutes ago doing a walkthrough, and he did talk with reporters. I asked him whether he feels excited for tonight. He says he actually feels honored to be in this room, honored to be among this place. And you can see behind us here that the stage is set for him. He does expect that this election watch party turns into a victory party. I had a chance to sit down one-on-one with Steve Hilton yesterday. I asked him whether he feels his endorsement from President Donald Trump will help or hinder him in blue California.
Well, I think it's certainly going to help California because I think it will be very helpful to have a governor with a good working relationship with the president and his team in delivering concrete positive results for Californians. I'll give you a couple of examples. The president and his team want to open up energy production in California. That's a huge part of my plan to lower gas prices. My target on gas prices is $3 gas in California. A huge part of that is opening up our own oil and gas industry, which has been under attack for many years. Now, right now, you've got the governor and the attorney general resisting that, fighting the common sense moves on energy.
Steve Hilton says he also wants to remove regulations to allow for more housing. He wants $3 gas in California, and he wants to clear out homeless encampments. Whether that's all going to resonate with voters, we will watch and see from here in Huntington Beach. We're live in Huntington Beach. Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
Eddie, thank you. Of course, the other race to watch is the battle to be the next mayor of Los Angeles. It is a tight race among incumbent Mayor Karen Bass, Councilwoman Nithya Raman, and Spencer Pratt. NBC4's Alex Rozier kicks off our team coverage. He's following the Bass campaign for us. Alex.
Karen Bass is going to be at an event here in Koreatown tonight, but over the past several days, she's really been crisscrossing the city, having several events, trying to secure some last-minute support. She was in Baldwin Hills yesterday, Westchester, San Pedro, started her morning today in Boyle Heights, and we were with her when she was in Boyle Heights speaking with supporters. She's really proud of her record. She says she's decreased homelessness, decreased crime, also built a lot of new housing, but her opponents have really sharply criticized her for the record that she is very proud of. But going into tonight, how is she feeling? We asked her earlier today.
I am feeling great. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling energized. It has been wonderful over these last few days to crisscross the city, to see the support. Everybody is excited. And so we are down to the wire and we're ready to bring this across the finish line.
And we are expecting the mayor, as I mentioned, to speak at an event in Koreatown tonight. Now, a member of her campaign had said that they won't be surprised if Spencer Pratt is leading this race with the first batch of results that may come in. They say Republicans vote early, but they are very confident, very hopeful that when all the votes are counted, that they will prevail on top. We'll be here all night with the Bass campaign as the votes come in. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
Alex, thank you. As you well know, this race for mayor is projected to be a very tight one. Councilmember Nithya Raman, a former supporter of Mayor Karen Bass, is now trailing her by just 1% in the most recent poll from UC Berkeley. NBC4's Karma Dickerson has been following Raman's campaign. She joins us live from LA City Hall, where Raman spent part of the day. Karma.
Yes, Nithya Raman, one of those candidates who has turned this mayoral race into a nail-biter. She actually started her day in Silver Lake. That's where she voted along with her family earlier this morning. Now, the incumbent city council member noting this is actually her third time on a ballot, but this is the first time throngs of cameras have been following her around, hoping to hear what she has to say. This is, of course, because she stands to turn this primary on its head. Recent polling has, just as you mentioned, her just behind her one-time ally, Mayor Karen Bass, but statistically she is in a dead heat with Bass and Spencer Pratt. She spoke with reporters after casting her ballot today.
I have a very honest message about the challenges that we're facing today and what we need to do to take on bigger things as a city, to have a more hopeful and resilient future. It will require change. It will require hard work. It will require grappling with this moment. And I think that honesty does have purchase with voters.
Raman then headed to work here at LA City Hall. Today is election day, but Tuesdays also have regularly scheduled city council meetings. There were a few references to election day in today's city council meeting, but we did not hear any comments from Raman. And so later on today, though, she is hosting an election night party. It's going to be downtown. We will, of course, be there and continue to follow this very exciting race. Reporting live, I'm Karma Dickerson, NBC4 News.
Karma, thank you. And among the top three candidates for mayor is Republican Spencer Pratt, a victim of the LA wildfires. He's gone from celebrity to serious challenger in the race for mayor. Last night, Pratt told NBC4's Robert Kovacic that LA needs to be saved and that he is the candidate to do it.
Now that I know all the problems of the city, for all the people's trauma that they're dealing with, the fear, the danger, the fact that now I'm in a position to help people, like how empowering that feels, that's why I do it.
Robert is covering the Pratt campaign for us as part of our primary night coverage. He'll bring us live reports as the results start to come in.
All right, let's bring in our Conan Nolan to talk about these big races. Let's start with mayor here. 6 months ago, when we looked at the candidates here, two of them weren't even in the race. It was just Mayor Bass at that point. Did you ever think we'd get to the highs and lows we've had in just a short period of time?
We thought Austin Buettner was going to be in the campaign. He had run, a former deputy mayor and a former publisher of the LA Times. We thought Rick Caruso was going to run a second time. So, no, we didn't expect, for one thing, we didn't expect a challenger to her left, Karen Bass's left. That is Nithya Raman. And then when Spencer Pratt, got into the race, everybody said, well, there's this guy, he's used to be on the hills. We had no idea he was going to catapult nationally And, you know, to a certain degree, Spencer Pratt has done something which is quite brilliant. Whether he wins or not, he's become the national spokesperson for the Democrats Mess Up Big Cities campaign. So, and there wasn't anybody in that category. So that's why Fox News, that's why Joe Rogan, all the other conservative podcasters have had him on, because he's articulated not just a message about L.A., about housing and homeless and crime and affordability. That's a problem in huge cities across the country that are run by Democrats. And the Democratic Party, you know, there's that Ezra Klein, the New York Times columnist, who said, you can't call yourself the party of the working class if the working class can't afford to live in your city when you run it.
We want to turn quickly to the governor's race. Thoughts on that?
Well, it's Javier Becerra. I think clearly the last several polls have him. People are, there's enough people out there who want somebody who's been down the block. And that is Javier Becerra. You know, from the legislature to Congress to a cabinet secretary, a state attorney general, he's got a long resume. If you don't have a long resume, you say that that's a problem. That, you know, that's an anchor. You're part of the establishment. But I'm sure some of those guys would love to have some of that resume, frankly. And so the voters routinely have voted for people with experience, so he's getting the benefit of that. The question is it Tom Steyer or is it Steve Hilton? And Steyer has reached a point where everybody knows he's running. I think he's kind of topped out in the number of people that like him, frankly, which is why he's trying to pull down Javier's numbers by saying, you might not like me, you know, the best, but he's a real son of a gun, so vote against him and vote for me instead.
Contentious within both parties.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's worse on the Democratic side.
Yes. All right, Conan, thank you.
My pleasure.